we are going to look at more mixture problems and other kinds of problems that use percentages. So the first one we're going to look at has to do with interest. And interest is a formula. Your interest formula is I equals PRT. P stands for the principal. In other words, the amount of money that you invest or the amount of money you borrow. R is the rate of interest, and that's usually listed as a percent, such as 3.5%, something like that, okay? And then T is the amount of time that you have borrowed that money. And we're going to work only with simple interest in this level. When you get to college algebra, you're going to look at compound interest, but that requires math skills beyond what we're teaching in this course. So we are going to look at simple interest problems that have interest equals PRT, principal times rate times time. The principal is the amount of money invested, the rate is the rate of interest that is charged or given, and T is the time that you're going to do that, okay? So let's do a very simple problem. I invested $10,000 at 5% interest for 3 years, okay? How much interest will I have? Well, better yet, we'll make the question, how much money do I have at the end of 3 years? Okay? Because this isn't the total amount of money, this is the interest. So my first step is to take and figure out my interest. My principal is $10,000, so P equals $10,000. My rate is 5%, which we're going to change to a decimal, which means we divide that by 100, which gives me 0.05. When you move from percent to a decimal, you move your decimal 2 places to the left, and that's the same thing as division by 100. And now the time is equal to 3 years. So my interest is going to equal my principal times my rate, which is 0.05, times 3, okay? So how much is that going to be? Well, this is 5 over 100, so 2 zeros, 15 times that, so my interest equals $1,500. And now, how much money do I have? This is my interest of $1,500. How much money I have, my total amount is my principal plus my interest. So this is $10,000 plus $1,500, which is going to equal, $11,500. So that's how much money we would have at the end of 3 years if we invested $10,000 at 5% for 3 years. So now we can take those same principles and combine ones. So say I have $20,000 and I want to invest it in 2 different accounts, and I'm not sure how much to invest at each account, but I would like to have a healthy amount of interest. Now, here's the difficulty. The higher the rate of interest, the greater the risk of your investment. The lower the rate of interest, the less money you make, but the safer your investment usually is. So often, if you're investing money, you kind of want to balance out safety with risk. And so if we had $20,000, so that's my principal, and I want to invest the two accounts. I have a 3.5% account and a 5% account. So I'm going to put it into two accounts. Higher risk, more money. Lower risk, less money. Okay? So that's the way it goes. Okay? Now we're going to do time is 1 year. All of these that use two accounts, we're only going to work with 1 year. Okay? So we don't need to worry about our time. So we're going to put this in a chart. And I don't know, but let's see. Let's have I want to make, how about $2,000? Can't do it, that's too high. Let's say $750 in interest. Okay? So, my interest, this is my total interest bucket. Okay, total interest bucket is going to be $750. That's how much interest I want to gain. So I have a 3.5% bucket and I have a 5% bucket. Now, this is my rate goes on top and my quantity or the amount of money goes inside the bucket. Now remember, we have two pieces here. My rate, I'm going to change it to a decimal because I do not have percents on every bucket, so I have to use decimals now. So 2 places to the left, or divide by 100, gives me 0.035. 2 places to the left, or divide by 100, gives me 0.05. Now, if I say that I'm going to put X amount in my 5% bucket, then I'm going to have 20,000 minus X in my 3.5% bucket. Remember, interest is principal times quantity, or principal times rate. So we're going to have my rate times my principal, which is 0.035 times 20,000 minus X, plus 0.05X is equal to $750. Okay, using your distributive property, we're going to have 1,000 gives me that, so 35 times 20 will be 70 with 1 0. So this is 700 minus 0.35X plus 0.05X is equal to 750. Okay, combine my like terms, and that's going to give me 510, so this is going to be a 0.1, let's make sure we get that right, 0.050, 0.035, 410, yes, 0.015X plus 700 equals 750. Okay, subtract my 700. And that is going to give me 0.015X is equal to $50. Divide by 0.015. And I have X is equal to, let's see how much that's going to equal. Since I pulled these numbers out of my hat, I don't know for sure if I even have a reasonable answer, but we'll find out. Oh, 3,333.33. Okay, so how much do I invest at my 5%? $3,333.33. And that's at 5%, so I'm going to label it. and put my dollar signs on it, and then at 10%, not 10%, 5%, 3.5%, get the right numbers on this. 3.5% is going to be my 10,000 minus that number. And that's going to be 6,000.67. Okay? So at 3.5%, we're going to have $6,666.67. So this is the way to do it when you're combining investments into two different amounts, okay? So that's another kind of a mixture type problem using percentages. Now we're going to look at some other mixture problems. Tasty's Coffee Shop sells specialty coffees. Now, your really expensive coffees often have a really wonderful taste. Your cheap coffees don't have such a good taste, but your expensive coffees are really expensive. And so sometimes you can ask a coffee shop to mix together so many pounds of a coffee that you want to come to a certain price per pound. And so then you're going to pick the two coffees to blend together to make that happen. So let's look at this. We want 10 pounds of coffee. And we want that coffee to cost, let's do $3 a pound. Okay. 10 pounds of that would be $30 is what it's going to cost you to buy that coffee. So to get that coffee, we're going to use a cheap coffee. My cheap coffee is going to cost $1 a pound. And my expensive coffee is going to cost $6 a pound. Okay? So we're going to mix two coffees to come up with another coffee, and we want 10 pounds of that coffee. So again, we're going to work this with our buckets. We could also do it with the charts that I showed you on the other video for the solutions, and I may do this one both ways for you. So this is our cheap, this is our expensive coffee, and this is our final mixture. And our final mixture is going to have 10 pounds of coffee at $3 a pound. And we want to know how much of the cheap coffee do I have to have. And my cheap coffee costs $1 a pound. My expensive coffee costs $6 a pound. And because I have a total of 10 pounds, it's 10 minus the amount that I put into my $1 a pound. So now, just like the other, the cost times the number of pounds will give me each one of the buckets. So 1.00x plus 6.00 times 10 minus x is equal to $3 a pound times 10 pounds. So $3 times 10 is going to give me $30. And I don't need to add the zeros. This becomes x, or 1x, plus 6 times 10 is $60, minus 6x, because 6 times x is negative x is 6x. X minus 6x is a negative 5x, plus 60 equals 30. Subtract my 60, and I'm going to end up with a negative 5x equals a negative 30, and divide by negative 5. So my x is going to equal 6 pounds. So I'm going to buy 6 pounds of my cheap coffee. So this is 6 pounds for this one. And 10 minus 6 gives me 4 pounds of my expensive coffee. And that's how I'm going to get my 10 pounds of coffee at $3 a pound. So as you can see, using these different mixtures to come up with things are exactly a good way to have a lot of choices that you can do with. Now, you've already actually done this when you did your coin problem. And mixing coins together is another example of these mixture type of problems. And there will be one of those on your worksheet as well. And what I want you to do is to work those worksheets. And if you have trouble, come online and I will help you with it. Okay, that should take care of the rest of that worksheet.